It's Sunday morning and really afternoon. Um, it's really ashamed how you see a lot of families not talking to each other today, or neighbors not even talking to one another today. You know, because back in the olden days, it wasn't like this. People actually did things together with their neighbors in their neighborhood. Like they, would have cookouts together. And I'm sure there are people that are doing it, but there are a lot of people that aren't, where they get together and they have group or community activities with everybody. But then there are a lot of y'all that aren't doing that, and that's discerning, and it's kind of disturbing a little too, to me, because how are you supposed to know your neighbor or know who lives around you if you don't do some things that would promote these types of things, like organized activities like cookouts and group get-togethers and that sort of thing? A lot of y'all, a lot of communities and apartment communities aren't doing that. So you really don't know who lives around you, and you don't really know the people that are around you. A lot of people just stay in their houses or apartments. They don't go out and socialize with the neighbor. Like, hey, how you doing? I'm so and so. What's your name? Small talk, break the ice kind of thing. Conversations. Um, I mean, you don't have to talk to people, but it's good to know some people in your community, because if something breaks out, an emergency of some type, it'd be good to know some people who you could trust in your neighborhood, that could help you in a time of emergency, or some kind of situation if it arises. You all would have some type of, you know, support system in place so you could help each other. But a lot of communities aren't even doing that anymore. So it just makes you wonder why people have become so antisocial. You think maybe it may be the fear that a lot of people are afraid of rejection, or afraid to talk because they don't know what the other person's going to say or what they're going to do, for that matter. Well, a lot of it is mostly built up on fear. What you have to do is break through that paradigm thought shift and shift to, you know, reality. Do things that everyone else doesn't want to do. Like go up and say hi to someone that you don't know. Get to know him or her and talk to them. Find out what they're like. Uh, I don't recommend that kids do this by yourself, but if you take a group of people, kids with you, you could do it. But adults especially, try to talk to your neighbors. Try to get to know who they are. Because one day you may need each other, so it's just so important that you do just that. Um, and try to be more helpful with other people. And you want people to help you, you gotta sometimes help them first. Try to be kind to others that aren't always so kind to you. These are things that Jesus said. Treat other people the way you want to be treated. Um, be respectful to people. Go out of your way to show your love by maybe helping somebody that's homeless. Um, Kids, do this with your parents, please. Um, but you know, parents, do this. I would do this in groups of people. Don't go up to someone by yourself. If you're a lady, attractive and all, don't go up by yourself. I go up in a group and do it. If you're in that situational dynamic, and ask them what they need and pray with them, and you go get them something to eat and bring it back to them. But never, ever, ever give them money. Okay, they may say they need $5 or $10. Don't give it to them. Just ask them what they need and go get it and bring it back to them. If it's food that they need, or a blanket, or you know, because a lot of times if you give them money, they're not going to spend it on food. They're going to spend it on a drug, or spend it on alcohol. So, get what they need. Is it's food or drink or a cover or something like that. Get what they need, um, and bring it back to them. But don't ever give them any money, unless you know the person and they're homeless. And you know that, they're not that kind of person. So, you know, just kind of, you just have to kind of use your head and kind of know. If you know who they are, then you can give them money. If you know they're not that kind of, character where they would go and spend it on drugs or alcohol. But it's always good to be helpful with people and not to judge them, prejudge them. A lot of people that are so hard on others is because they're hard on themselves. A lot of times they're afraid and they'll make all kinds of statements to their children because they don't want them to do things because they want their life to be better, and that's good. But the point is, you should not force your ideas and opinions on other people, even though they're your children, when they're not really beneficial. If they have ideas and dreams that they want to do, let them do their dreams. Encourage them to become that songwriter. Encourage them to become that artist. Encourage them to do whatever they want to do. And if it is someone, pray about it as parents. Don't try to take it away from them. Learn to retrust that person. Learn to trust, your son or daughter when they're with that person. You learn to appreciate that person for who they are. If they truly do love that person, and that person that loves them truly loves them, then they're not going to do anything bad or wrong to them that's inappropriate. Because they know and they respect the parents and they respect that person. And they don't want to do that because they don't want to lose the family or that person. So, think about that. Really, please think about it sincerely. Because a lot of relationships get lost because parents are protecting, but they go overboard with it and they smother the children. What ends up happening is they end up running away from home because they get tired of being smothered and they get so mad at their parents because all the rules and all the acting and behavior, it just pushes your children away from you instead of bringing them to you. You want to have that bond and that closeness with your teenagers. Then, when they get older, you need to think about these things, because if you're overboard and you're one of those overactive, overprotective, overzealous, and top cop mothers, interrogate your children all the time, always think they're lying, that's going to push them away from you, and they're going to rebel. If you have good kids, you don't want that to happen. Instead of them talking to you, they're going to go talk to somebody else when they should be talking to you. So that's why I say to parents that are overprotective, who like to smother their kids, stop doing it and respect it. Pray about it. Don't be revengeful. Pray about it. Because remember, you've done a lot of sins in your life, I'm sure. And you're a Christian. Most Christians are a lot harder on other Christians, when yet they're also harder on themselves, because they're trying to project this image or trying to make the children better or into something that they don't want to be a lot of times. Let the children be who they want to be when they grow to be adults. Let them do their dreams. Don't take that dream away. So many people that are controlling tend to push or force their agenda on them rather than allowing them to make their own decisions. That's what's so wrong with the world today. Let your children express their dreams. If they have talents, let them do their abilities that they have, because they'll be a lot happier if you let them do that. But don't take that away from them ever, because that would be a bad thing to do. Let your children develop and grow in the way that they really should, and allow them to make mistakes, because they will, and they do sometimes. But don't be so hard on them. Don't be so judgmental on them or on other people. Try to have the spirit of humility. Try to have the spirit of, not pride, but of compassion. And try to have the spirit of ultimately love. Because, a lot of times if you're so hard on other people, it's probably because you're hard on yourself. So think about it. This is Michael De Silvas, preacher for New Hunter Church of Christ. Just talking about things.